So I'm usually a pretty big wuss when it comes to horror movies, but with it being October and Halloween coming up, I thought I would be brave and branch out and try and watch some of them. So today I'm going to watch the 1988 David Cronenberg film Dead Ringers. I've seen a few other Cronenberg films and I've really enjoyed his work, so I'm excited to watch this. I don't really know what to go off the title, maybe something with like boxing, like a boxing ring or something. That's my only real prediction. I don't know the cast. All I know is that Cronenberg's involved, so I'm definitely expecting something weird and something unusual and definitely something a little bit more psychological. I'm not really expecting like a slashers. Thank you so much for sharing in this first time watching with me. I do have horror movie themed notebooks on Amazon for sale. The link is below. And if you want to have a say in what movies or TV shows I watch, be sure to join Patreon. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel and check back often for more awesome content. Is this about surgery or like twins or something like that? Is Denis Cronenberg related to David Cronenberg? It's been a while since I've watched a movie that had the full credits and intro at the beginning, so it's a nice change. Yeah, I like when it's written, directed, produced by the same people. I find the stories just more coherent. Okay, based on the book Twins. I don't recognize the author, but okay, it's based on a book.
You've heard about sex? Sure I have.
And I love Cronenberg is Canadian. It makes me so happy.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Yeah.
Time to take over the world. The pinky, and the brain.
Rafaela, will you have sex with us in our bathtub? It's an experiment.
Uh-huh. Well, anything for science.
Father, you talk dirty. I know for a fact you don't even know what...
Okay, this is quite the introduction. All right. These two seem very studious, very scientific minds.
They're so different from us. And all because we don't live underwater.
That is true. Okay. Quite the inquisitive young minds we've got here.
Intra-ovular surgery.
Okay, these two boys are playing surgery. Interesting. I didn't recognize those actors. Comment below, did they grow up to be, are they famous now? Did they stop acting when they were kids?
We had it made for us.
Really?
Oh, okay, these are the brothers, I'm guessing, grown up now that they're, they obviously went to medical school. It said Cambridge.
Which is now the standard of the industry. Here's to a brilliant future.
Okay, yeah, so this device that they had made for them, they're now using, you know, the standard of the industry is what they said, so that's a pretty big deal. Okay, very exciting. Is this an actual medical device? Is it just made up for the movie? Comment below and let me know.
That's wonderful.
True emotion, real gut feelings. You know, you could really sense the excitement.
No, I wasn't joking.
They became gynecologists?
She's a trifecate. I've never seen anything like it. Yeah, I'll be done.
I'm not sure what that means.
I thought there should be beauty contests for the insides of bodies. You know, best spleen.
That would be weird and hard to compete for, yeah.
We have standards of beauty for the entire human body.
Very interesting, yeah. Interesting concept.
3 doorways. 3 cervixes.
Oh.
Compartments in your uterus. That is fabulously rare.
Whoa! Whoa! Is that even possible?
You're not very enthusiastic one. Could I have triplets, do you think?
But like separate. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Doesn't work like that.
Okay, well I was wrong. What do I know?
Seductive and charming as usual. And I think you've got your grant.
This apartment feels very Patrick Bateman. Like very like sleek and cool.
Don't worry, you'll be all right. Just do me.
Okay, yes, they're gonna like switch places because no one can tell them apart. They're twins, obviously, and it looks like identical twins.
I'm still vibrating all over.
Hello.
I learned it from books.
I wish more men would read those.
I would start selling those books. And this is the other twin, but she thinks it's the one that she went to dinner with.
Drink.
No, thanks.
Yeah, that would be so, like, you're like, how do I trust that it's actually you? Or is she figuring out? She's like, when they kissed, it was different.
I will. And I'll tell her I'm you.
It's kind of like weird twin rival.
What sort of terrible thing?
And that, yeah, they've been like sharing women they've slept with. Oh dear. Oh dear. I don't think that's what those are supposed to be used for. There's definitely no shortage of adult alone time in David Cronenberg films.
And with that seal of approval, our 5th bubbly season gets underway.
Are they called dead ringers because they're twins, and it's like that saying of, oh, he's a dead ringer for so and so? That's my guess.
The highest paid corporate bosses who laugh all the
Yeah, they have to do everything together. Yeah.
Fallopian tubes, using just anything.
Oh god, why are they all wearing red? It looks like Handmaid's Tale in there. Oh god, it's horrifying.
Specialized little organs.
Oh god.
But with the kind of help we can offer.
If I woke up from a surgery and everybody was in the red robes,
Modify.
I'd be like, put me back under.
To take over the function of conveying the egg from the ovary to the uterus.
He should host, those tours. And to your left, you'll see Spain. He's got a very, like, dry, like, melancholy voice.
No. I trust you to make us look good.
Okay, so one twin focuses on, like, more research. Another one does more, like, practical, surgical, like, in-office stuff.
Too exhausted.
Not that research isn't practical, but you know what I mean.
I didn't know you had a brother.
Yeah. We're not very close.
Why is he lying about it?
It's not a woman's name. It's spelled differently.
Right, but it's still a woman's name.
I've never heard of, as a man named Beverly before.
Thing.
Has he been, like, talking to himself?
I can't figure out why.
Yeah, I'm curious why she thinks he's schizophrenic. Like, what behavior he's given off? He's like, let's not talk, just take these drugs.
Ghost, you better tell me which one you're seeing. You mean to say there's 2 of them?
Yeah, she didn't know there was twins, yeah, because he lied about his brother.
They're twins, dear. Identical twins.
Yeah, and she's like, okay, which one have I been seeing? Yeah.
When can I meet him?
You can't. I mean, you don't want to.
Why won't he let her meet his brother?
I want to see you 2 together.
Okay. Yeah, and see, like, how they interact, and... Okay, very interesting. Yeah, so she finally found out they have twins, or that they're twins, and that she's gonna meet both of them.
Any telling you apart, is there? Absolutely identical in every respect.
Yeah, and I feel like the same actor played both twins.
Up on the bullshit for one moment. You can be honest with me. After all, I am laying both of you, aren't I?
Yeah, she knows. She's figured out that they're switching.
Oh, Claire.
This would be so bizarre, like such a mind game. Yeah, oh my gosh.
Explain what?
That they've been switching and sleeping. Oh my god.
You know it.
Yep. Yeah, if the same actor played both parts, I'm curious how they did it. I've seen shows like Orphan Black where the same actor plays different roles, which is a great show. You should check it out if you haven't seen it. Also Canadian.
A bit upset.
I'm curious if they filmed Beverly's parts,
I'll go and catch up with her.
then did the same scene,
was all
but
mine.
from Elliot's perspective. So yeah, comment below if you know how they did that. I'm assuming that's what happened. This looks like the exact same actor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's so, like, it's not a typical horror movie. It's definitely disorienting because it's hard sometimes to see who's who.
Just say thank you and get on. No, I want to say something else. I want to say something else.
Yeah, that'd be like they're constantly switching back and forth.
Come on, stick it in.
Oh my, this is not going well. Yeah, I don't know if it's supposed to give, like, the illusion that they're one person. Like, definitely seem interchangeable. They don't seem to have any distinguishing characters other than being, like, slightly taller, he says, but...
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, like, they have, like, a slightly different wardrobe, but nothing crazy. So, yeah, it's, like, it's kind of hard to tell them apart sometimes. Yeah, he always seems to be waking up, like, panicked.
Right. I'll just separate you.
Why are they both there? Is this a dream? So bizarre. Oh my gosh! Oh, I hope this is a dream. He loves to put things in people's stomachs. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Okay, okay, she's like gnawing on there. Oh! God, that's what nightmare fuel. She was like trying to eat at their like twin cord. Cheese and rice. I'm glad that was a dream. Oh my God. Yeah, Videodrome, he's putting things in people's stomachs. And Shivers, he had things in people's stomachs. Stop. Leave the stomach alone, man. God.
I can't.
What are these pills? But yeah, previously we'd seen him wake up and it's never like a relaxing, you know, calming wake up. It's always like a like a frantic, like he's surprised he's awake situation.
Dr. Elliot Mantle?
Yes.
Special order from Escort Embassy. I'm Mimsy.
Oh my. Twins? Wow, they said twin escorts to a twin. Ah, twin squared. Definitely not your typical horror movie. I feel like all will be revealed in the last like act, like last 20-30 minutes.
To call me Ellie. And you, Mimsy, to call me Bev.
Why is it what? Why is he having them call her both this like his name and his brother's name? This thing is freaking me out, man. That's a lot of hard pass.
Shows the council I have 3 patients. I'll never make it.
Yeah, I'm curious about these pills they're taking. Like, yeah, it's just a lot of questions. We haven't seen the twins together in public very often. So yeah, I'm definitely expecting some kind of twist or yeah. The glamorous movie sets of 5 a.m. hair and makeup calls. So fun.
Give us a few minutes, please.
Yeah, so she told Beverly not to visit her, but now Elliot's visiting her on set. I'm glad Claire, like, says their names a lot, because otherwise I'm just like, what's happening?
Same way. Might make things easier.
What is he hoping for? Yeah, he's hoping she'll just date both of them. It's like, I know you look the same, but you're still different people.
Let's not lose each other.
Yeah, Beverly seems to be the more, like, vulnerable one. And Elliot seems to be the more, like, assertive one, I guess, and just kind of does whatever he wants. So, yeah, But they definitely seem like carbon copies of each other in many, many ways. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, like, in other films I've watched, if, like, one of them turns out to be a ghost or something. But I'm like, they've all interacted with people, and usually when it's a ghost, there's nobody interacting with them. So, like, when they met Claire, I was like, oh, this will be the time we'll find out so-and-so's a ghost or something. But she responded to both of them. So, yeah, I'm very curious to see what's going on. And he has his name on, like, Beverly's name was on a prescription. And I feel like you'd have to be a human to be able to get, you know, a prescription. So, yeah, I'm very curious.
Did you know that she was a trafficker?
Yeah, I'm curious if this condition even exists, if it's real.
This means that you have been a mutant.
Oh my God, that's horrible. And she specifically, like, said, don't tell anybody, like, keep this a secret. And as her doctor, she definitely should, like, he should.
I thought you were ready to see Mrs. Randall.
He's unraveling for sure. His eyes are red. He's got like alcohol on the table. I would not let that guy. No, why is this
I'm
like...
one of the Mantle twins.
But he doesn't say his name. He just says one of them, and his eyes had like this light in them. Yeah, like, are these drugs like causing him to like hallucinate or something? But other people can see him as well, so very strange.
She's unfaithful to me, Elliot. You mustn't take it.
Or with that guy from the movie set, that's what he's thinking.
She's a showbiz lady. What can you expect?
Yeah, because he knew his brother was sleeping with her. Oh.
I have to take it.
Yeah, like this is the first time we've seen him show like any like real emotion. He's like very upset at the thought of her being with somebody else. Other than his brother, which he's fine with, I guess. I'd hate to see what happens if one of them decides to break away. Yeah, like if one of the brothers had decided, I'm not going to go into medicine, I'm going to become something totally different, how the other brother would respond, because they seem very codependent on having the similar, so that they can easily switch. What's happening? Is he actually dying right now? And like the sets have all been very like clean and sterile, and I know there's obviously like the medical field to that as well, but even like he's the only bed in this hospital, they have a whole private room, and...
But I can't stay here day and night. I've got to get you off the pills without anybody knowing.
Yeah, okay, so he just passed out because he was in withdrawals.
What if I take something when you go home? I'm staying right here. What if I take something when you go to sleep?
Okay, yeah, so he's trying to detox Beverly.
This.
Oh, God.
I mean, we have the technology.
I don't know what part of that is going where exactly. Get out of there, lady. This is gonna end badly for you.
Exactly did you have intercourse with?
What kind of question is that? A human, I hope?
To treat a woman who had had...
This is not how this is supposed to go. Oh, God. What?
Maybe...
He's asking her if she's had sex with a dog.
Journals, remember? This is for surgical retraction. No wonder it hurt her.
Yeah, why is he trying to retract... What parts?
With the instrument. It's the body.
Yeah, if you're having surgery and you need stuff to be separated, that makes more sense as opposed to whatever he was trying to do. Yeah, and now I'm thinking that when he said that Claire had 3 cervixes, I'm thinking that's not accurate at all now because he seems to be in his own little world.
Instruments. For working on mutant women.
Mutant women?
How many mutant women does he think are out there? Like, what is this, X-Men?
Well, I need 3-dimensional prototypes in surgical steel.
Was this guy in another Cronenberg movie?
And I thought maybe...
Aren't there large companies in this town?
No.
Yes, that are approved and have guidelines.
I mean, I can't. It's too complicated.
So he wants this artist to make medical instruments for him that he wants to also be functioned, but obviously isn't getting cleared with anybody and is just going to use them on his own. Things are unraveling. And it's interesting how, like, the whole movie has been pretty, like, cool tones, like dark grays, dark blues, blacks. And the only, like, really, really vibrant color has been when he's in surgery, and he has this very bright, like, candy apple red surgical suit, and everybody else is in, like, these full head-to-toe red coverings, like, oh, man. And red obviously being prevalent in horror movies as well, like, oh my gosh. It makes it look, like, surreal and like a dream.
We'll use these.
Oh my God! None of those go inside, please.
And we will do the job.
No, oh my God. Run. Get out of there.
I'm afraid
She's not going to be able
not
to walk.
familiar with these instruments, Doctor.
No, because they're made up.
Give me number 5.
What is he going to do with these tools? Like, what did they do that... Oh my god, I'm terrified. I'm so terrified.
Number 5.
Like, what is that going to do? It looks like a raptor claw. Oh my god. Oh my god. It looked like a raptor claw.
I need something to slow everything down.
Oh my god. Wow, he just dove over the patient to get the gas. He's losing it. Oh god, he's losing his freaking mind.
Get a client, for God's sake. Get him the hell out of here!
I thought that was gonna go much worse, to be honest.
Yes, we've always intended to ease ourselves into pure research anyway.
Yeah, he's like, we're taking away your medical license because you're lost your mind, made up your own tools, and tried to use them on people. That's insane. Like, just, oh my god. He's like, it's for, like, nobody will understand. We're so advanced. It's reminding me of a show I've been watching recently called Dr. Death, which is this true story about this surgeon who did everything wrong you could possibly do. Yeah, and this guy, like, I think like 33 out of 36 of his patients ended up injured, quadriplegics, like just horrible, horrible injuries.
Something radical is definitely required.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if the instruments we saw in the opening sequence, like those sketches, were the ones that they've designed. And they keep, like, radical things have to happen. He's like, people look deformed on the inside. Oh, just a bunch of drugs everywhere in this apartment. Yeah, I guess if you're have access, you could prescribe yourself whatever you wanted.
And found that his brother was dead. He died of fright.
Is that a true story? Comment below and let me know. He's like, I can't leave you. I'm too afraid to be on my own. We're attached, basically, even though not physically, but... He looks like a vampire right here. I'm definitely getting, like, Patrick Bateman vibes. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. See what happens. Oh, what else he got in those pockets? Cheese and rice. It's a walking pharmacy, this guy.
Insulating yourselves. They're gonna nail you. They're gonna be forced to nail you.
Is it the same show they were watching before? Comment below, I don't recognize the show.
Beverly and I just have to get synchronized.
Yeah, he said like they're out of sync and whatever he puts in his bloodstream is in his brother's. I'm not sure how that's possible.
Come to me right now.
Yeah, this whole time he thought she was cheating on him. Oh, God. And she's like, no, it was just this guy that I was working with on the show, and you have nothing to worry about. Yep, that can only do harm. There's nothing good that can come from that being in or around a human. Oh my god, this place. Look at this office. Cheese and rice. That would have been like fun to do for props though, just because you get to like trash stuff and you don't have to make it look pretty. You can just destroy and just be messy. It'd be a pain to clean up obviously, but that's what he's been doing for a week. He's been living at this office off of takeout food and food from cans, so it's just cans of beans.
Don't forget. Right.
Yeah, and they're just mirroring each other, so like, oh god.
Right.
Oh, just like their movements the exact same. Oh my gosh.
So on Monday we kick, right? We agreed.
Okay, so this is like their one last weekend of
Pull
doing
things back
drugs.
together then.
And then Monday they're gonna get their lives together. Okay, interesting. Cans of ravioli and lit candles. Great. Please don't start a fire. Oh, good. Just cake from the bookshelf. Where else do you keep your cake?
Mommy forgot to buy it.
Like, I don't even know if they're both real. Like, this is such a disorienting film. And the fact that they're using drugs, like, you can't really trust what they're seeing because are they high? And, like, is this just, like, a hallucination?
Happy birthday, Ellie.
It just, like, as a viewer, it just really messes with your perception of what to trust. And there's not really, like, any other... Like, there's other cast members, but these two are obviously the main.
We are about to separate the Siamese twins.
They're not connected. Oh, God. They're gonna perform surgery on each other? That glove does in no way look clean. It looks like there's mustard or some other, well, I hope it's mustard. Probably bodily fluids,
Don't
but...
forget the good part.
Oh my God, no, 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 no. I'm very nervous. Yeah, it's like they're mentally connected and like psychologically connected, but not physically connected. And now he's like, okay, we need to separate, but there's nothing to separate. Oh, I hate that. He's gonna perform surgery on his, like, what is he gonna separate him from? And he thinks that they're the Siamese twins that he was talking about, like the first case. He's gonna murder his own brother. He's gonna murder his own brother. Oh God. Oh God, I hate it. Oh my God. And it's just like this one stream of blood trickles down the chair. The body count's been like relatively low. He's performing this surgery that doesn't need to happen. So much of him just crunched. Yeah, I didn't have high hopes of that being successful. Yeah, and we... Oh, God! Oh, God, I was just about to say we didn't see what happened, but there she is. His insides are on the outside. Oh, my God.
Ellie.
And the way that was so clever, the way they cut with him having the thing over his face, you're led to believe that that's the person who had passed away.
Ellie.
And now he's like, oh, I had this horrible dream. He murdered his own brother. If his brother's even real. Honestly, I'm guessing at this point. Maybe Ellie's been a figment of his imagination this whole time. I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore. This actor's done a great job, though, playing both parts. So well done. And I think that would have made or break the film if he would have been, like, not as committed. And not as willing to go to such, like, a dark place. It's like he just took his ribs and then just spread them wide open. Which I don't feel like is an easy thing to do. I'm not a doctor, but... And he's just casually packing up his things, like nothing happened. I'm curious to see if he's gonna go by Beverly now, if he's gonna go by Elliot. I think this might be King's University, if that's in Toronto. The Eaton Center, yes. Okay, I've been there. It's still called the Eaton Center, despite Eaton's going out of business a long time ago. What? Yeah, I'm guessing he just tried to call Claire, but didn't say anything, obviously. It's like It looks like it should be like a Renaissance painting or something. Like, it's weirdly beautiful, although very, very disturbing. Are they both dead now? What? Do you just come back to the apartment and, like, died? Oh my god, this movie. Yeah, they both were played by the same actor, Jeremy Irons. Okay. So that was my first time watching the 1988 David Cronenberg film Dead Ringers. It wasn't what I predicted. It had nothing to do with boxing. Dead ringers was the term used for the identical twins because they could be dead ringers for each other. I'm not too sure the origins of that saying, but I know that's what it's used for, especially since they were identical. And we saw in the end credits that they were played by the same actor, Jeremy Irons. I thought he did a great job, really well done. And I'm very curious to learn more about the production aspect. Like, did they use computers or anything like that? I know this was the 80s, but I'm curious if they filmed it with him as one character, filmed the entire scene again with him as another character, and then piece them together. So yeah, comment below if you know how that was done. So it was very interesting that they didn't cast twins or people who looked similar and had them be fraternal twins. I think it was very important to this story that they were definitely identical twins, as we saw a lot of themes of identity and codependency and a lot of similarities between Beverly and Elliot. They mentioned this was based on a book. I haven't read the book, so comment below, is this true to the book? Do they take huge creative liberties and just run with the story and it's like loosely based on the book? But yeah, just very interesting concept of these twins and how they literally have, it seems like, very similar lives. Like, the only thing that's really different is they dressed slightly different, but I mean, again, that could be debated. They dressed similar, like they didn't have any crazy different styles. Beverly seemed to be more passive and more open to emotions, whereas Elliot seemed to be more the assertive and confident one and wasn't really into being vulnerable or, you know, sharing his emotions. And the fact that they both had this drug dependency, there were definitely parts where I was like, I can't tell who's who, and a very small cast with the twins and Claire, and she was our really only point of reference as to who was who because she would call them by their names, but even then they could have switched. So yeah, just very disorientating. Like, how do you know who is who? Or are they just switching? Because that seemed to be something that they did often. And I think that's what made this such an interesting film to watch, because you're like, who is this? What's going on? And for a minute I was like, okay, is one of them going to turn out to be a ghost or something like that? Like, at first things seemed to be more focused on Beverly, so I was like, okay, is that the true person and Elliot's just somebody that's made up? But then we also saw people outside of their circle calling them by their names, so it's like, okay, well, that defeats that point. You're like, okay, maybe it's like Tyler Durden Fight Club situation, he's a figment of his imagination or something like that. But again, that wasn't true. So yeah, through the entire movie, I'm questioning, okay, is this even real? Are you actually a real person? And I had that kind of disjointed, you know, viewing, and I was just like, who do I trust and what do I trust? And especially when the element of drugs is involved, you can't, is this real? What's happening? When he's performing these surgeries, is he even present? Does he think this is a dream? And even when we saw Beverly have that dream of being connected to his brother, and he wakes up and Claire's like chewing on that thing connecting them, and just, yeah, so weird and just so hard to tell what was real and what you could trust. And although the twins weren't physically connected, they definitely seemed to be mentally connected, or thought that they were physically connected in a way, because even when we hear them say like, okay, what goes into my bloodstream goes into his bloodstream, like he's just convinced that what he does affects his brother. And I'm not a twin, so comment below. I've heard of twin syndrome where, you know, the twin will get hurt and the other one will feel it and stuff like that because they have that connection, but this seemed to take it to a whole nother level. And he's like, we need to sync up. Like, if I'm on drugs, you need to be on drugs. And even when Beverly's detoxing, he starts using more drugs. If drugs hadn't been involved, it might have been easier to have some separation, but I don't think it would have. You still would have been wondering who was who. And it definitely wasn't a typical horror movie. We didn't really have like, it wasn't like a slasher like I predicted. It was definitely more psychological. There wasn't some monster running after them in the woods. I think you could go into many different theories about who the monsters were and what, you know, what avenues you want to pursue with that, whether it's vanity or, you know, ambition or these monsters that are inside us, or however you want to perceive it. I think there would be a lot of layers to this film, and it's interesting, even when at the beginning he's like, oh, we should have a beauty contest for our insides because, you know, all our beauty contests are for what's on the outside, but people's insides. And even Beverly saying, like, everybody's insides look deformed, and and that's why he created those instruments in the first place, was to like fix people's insides. It definitely reminded me of Patrick Bateman and just the way his apartment was laid out and just his mannerisms and the way Elliot was like conducting himself. Like, I'm sure he had a great business card, and just, yeah, everything about him kind of seemed very cool and distant. And then we had Beverly, who was a little bit more shy, but also once he decided to commit to Claire, he showed a lot of vulnerability and was very sad when she left and thought that she had started seeing somebody else. And then it goes into this like depression spiral. And I don't think Elliot would have been that upset if somebody would have left. I don't know that Elliot's ever cared that much about somebody. We saw a brief glimpse of their backstory, but when they were kids, and we see them asking their neighbor if they can, you know, conduct these experiments. And then when we see them in med school and they've created this device, the weaknesses and strengths of the twins play off each other. Like Beverly being more shy, well, that means that Elliot is more outgoing. So when he brings people home, Beverly gets to meet them, and they obviously share some other interests with ladies. But yeah, it was just interesting how that worked too. Beverly got to meet more people because of that, and if Elliot had been just as shy as Beverly, who knows, maybe they never would have branched out or left the apartment. But definitely played off each other, and how one of them was the researcher and one of them was the doctor, or both doctors, but one of them focused more time onto research and the other one was like the front man and was going around to these conferences accepting awards. And you know, it definitely felt like the rock star and then the guy behind the scenes, you know, the crew, the cast and the crew, if you will. So it was a very interesting dynamic. Two scenes that definitely stick out are when they're in surgery and he's trying to use these instruments that he's created and drawn, and instead of, I'm assuming the process would be to get them approved and, you know, go through vigorous testing and however medical instruments go from a piece of paper to real life. I imagine there's quite a few hoops to go through, but he just goes to this artist and the artist is like, yeah, I'll create them. And I don't know if he knew that this guy had intentions of using them or if he just thought it would make a cool art piece, but either way, he brings them to life. And then when we see him try and use them on this patient, I thought that was going to be like a horrifying, gruesome bloodbath scene. It was still a very disturbing scene. The fact that he thought he was going to fix this person's insides with these instruments that looked like they could only just do more damage, and everybody's dressed in red, and it's just this really surreal, dreamlike feel. And luckily the people were able to stop him. And even when he like jumps on this patient and is trying to like breathe in the gas because he's just like needs more drugs and has just been pumping his system so full of drugs, I don't even think he knows what's real anymore. And just, yeah, just so disorientating. And the other scene when he wakes up and is connected to his twin, oh my gosh, that was so disturbing. David Cronenberg loves to have things in the stomach area. Every time I've seen a movie of his, something is coming out of people's stomachs, and it just seems like it's like your core. I don't know why he chooses the stomach, but it just always makes me like flinch and just makes me so queasy thinking about it. And just, oh God, it definitely wasn't the most gory movie that I've ever seen. I think the body count was even at like 2 with the 2 brothers at the end. I'm assuming they both died. We know one brother definitely died from that surgery, and then when the other one came home, definitely looked like he had passed away. So definitely a low body count for a horror movie, and them being in the medical field and trying to create this radical technology. And again, you could play off of, okay, are they just hyper ambitious? Are they just in a drug fueled craze? Like, where does the line fall? And just so bizarre and so many questions. I definitely need to do some research now that I finished watching it, and I thought one of them would turn out to be a ghost or something like that. So I was like, well, I'll rewatch it again and see all those clues. I'll still watch it again, but yeah, it'll just be interesting to see a different perspective. And they definitely gave a lot of allusions to them being one person despite them being separate. And I'm like, okay, is this just how they talk to each other? Are these clues for the audience? Is this supposed to just throw me off and make me question everything? Because that's definitely what's happening. I thought it was so well done, so clever, and I think it could have been a movie that went completely backwards and just been a mess, but it was just so well done. And I love Cronenberg's work, so I was super excited to see this and just really bizarre, and definitely one that'll have me thinking for the next few days and wondering what was real. And again, with a limited cast, you can't really rely on outside sources because there isn't really any. Like, we didn't really get to meet their parents or anything, or if they had any other siblings. There was no one there to really reinforce their mental stability. And even when Claire's saying, oh, you might be schizophrenic, I'm curious as to, I'm guessing the dreams, or if he was talking to himself, or she was wondering what was going on, especially if they were switching constantly. I can see that being why she thought that was the case. I never felt like I was on solid ground watching this movie. I always felt like something was going to push you over the edge, or there was going to be some big reveal. We didn't have, like, the last 20 minutes, there was definitely a lot that happened, but to each other, like when he's performing surgery on his brother, I don't think he knew what he was doing, or he thought that something else was happening, probably from the drugs, but just so weird. And then when we see him wake up, and the same way he like wakes up in like a panic, like what's going on, and sees his brother, but then doesn't process it really. He just kind of gets dressed and goes outside and tries to phone Claire, and that's the last we see of him. So very bizarre, but just the way they compared themselves to the Siamese twins as well, who when one died, the other one died. Overall, I enjoyed it. Like I said, definitely not a stereotypical horror movie, but super creepy. The way these two brothers seem to just live like parallel lives, and that they could switch in and out of each other's lives without really anybody noticing, and how they had the same career and similar wardrobes and just the same haircut, and like just the fact that they could take on another person's identity so easily and just become, oh, I don't feel like being myself today, I feel like being you. Definitely very codependent on each other. And even that one of the last scenes when you see him walking and just mirroring and just following his brother, and just, yeah, like they're the same person. As a viewer, it was definitely hard to know who to trust and what to trust. And even though they did end up being two separate characters, it felt like one that had two separate parts to it, if that makes sense. Like, some days he was more confident, and then some days he was more shy, and I felt like it should have just been one person, like they were two halves of one piece. Definitely a very interesting and unique approach to a horror movie. Not what I was expecting at all. So cool, so well done, and just, yeah, a lot of pieces I think you could pick apart at this, and I'm really excited to learn more about it. But thank you so much for sharing in this first time watching with me. If you have any other suggestions for horror movies you think I should watch, please comment below. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and check back often for more awesome content. They became gynecologists, kind of like weird twin rival. If I woke up from surgery and everybody was in the red robes, a man named Beverly, she was like trying to eat at their like twin cord. He loves to put things in people's stomachs. How many mutant women does he think are out there? Like, what is this, X-Men? It's like he just took his ribs and then just spread them wide open. So much of him just crunched.